Hi, friends. Welcome to Mimosas and Chismosas, the podcast for mujeres who were raised to be quiet, perfect, and grateful, and instead became opinionated, exhausted, and done settling. I'm Kat, and if you're navigating generational guilt, healing your inner child, and trying to look hot while processing trauma with that dark humor, then I got you. Grab your mimosa, take a deep breath, and let's talk about the shit that no one warned us about. Hi, friends. Welcome to another episode of Mimosas and Chismosas. I got my girl Gab today. We're going to talk all things spicy that our parents didn't talk about, and kids or no kids. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so
Cheers.
much. Finally made it to the
I
pod.
know. I'm so excited.
We're
you were actually
here.
one of the first people that followed Mujeres in Charge. And we met right when the group started. Because remember, I had the branding photo shoot and you,
Yep.
Diana. So it's been almost 3 years now.
Yeah.
So I'm excited we get to do this. And we were already having this convo in the car. So we'll continue. But
Oh, yes.
essentially the S word that our parents didn't tell us. But I think we had very different dynamics. So it's nice. So, I mean, for you have a young mom.
Yeah.
So
That was always a thing. I mean, people literally referred to her as the Regina George mom, the Latina Regina George mom. And I mean, sex was not a direct topic, even though my mom had me when she was 19. My dad was a little older, and obviously there was a lot of ups and downs with that. So even her not having the talk, it was just why not change the dynamic and have the talk with me, right?
yeah.
But again, my mom was the cool mom, so she knew that I had a lot of friends. She was there when I had my first boyfriend. So when she did find out that I did the do, she was devastated. And I'm like, girl, you never had any conversation with me about this being bad or how I should value sex. And I think that's a big part of explaining sex to your kids too. Let them know that there's value in it. And that's more of the reason why you're trying to just educate them, not to say turn them away, because they're gonna have sex at some point. Let's be real, let's not be naive, but to have those conversations. And I'm sure your mom probably just didn't even
No.
You had to turn your face in the novela when they're kissing.
Oh my God.
That's your life, eh?
Well, you said your mom tippy-toed. What did you say? What did you call it?
And
Instead
I
of
said to
tippy-toed?
her, my mom pussy-toed around the topic. And she's like, pussy-toed or pussyfoot? And I'm just you never heard that term
I
before?
have not. So that is a new one I will use. No, my mom didn't talk about it at all. So for me, it was turn away when you're watching the novelas or a movie. It was that super uncomfortable feeling where you're just what do I do? And you're still hearing what's happening in the background, but you're this.
You know what's going on,
Yeah.
but you're not supposed to.
But
type
for
thing.
me, the talk was my mom's hilarious. I love my mom, But her talk was hilarious. She was you have to stay a virgin. She's when you are a virgin, she's you're like a rosebud. You're closed. She's and once you have sex, she's you open. You're pretty for a little. She's then you shrivel, and then you're ugly and you die. And I was
Thank you, Mom.
that was the talk I had.
Wow.
So I grew up with that where I was just fuck, I don't want, it made it seem really gross to me. It gave me uncomfortable. So I always felt uncomfortable. Even saying the word sex, I was oh my God, this feels so bad.
Yeah.
And never talked about it. It was always a big deal. I think if I lost my virginity when I was in high school, my family would have been so disappointed. Because first of all, your whole family finds out when you do that. I don't know why, but it's that you get your period, your whole family
everybody knows everything. Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's why? So I think it would have been such a disappointment because to them it equaled if you lose your virginity, you're giving up on everything else. You're not going to go to school. And I was I don't understand how this equates that, but it did. So I was really scared. I did not properly have sex until into my 20s.
Well, yeah. I mean, now looking back on it, you probably think, and even me just hearing you, I would probably prefer my daughter to have that experience as well. Save yourself and just be educated. I'm not here to control you in that sense, but I'm here to educate you. And as you're growing up, be responsible. But I would definitely have rather had your experience because my experience was the total opposite.
See,
I was
but
young, I was promiscuous, and I just didn't know what I was doing. You know, I'm just there like living my free life so young when I didn't even know the value of sex. You know what I mean? And even with like, I feel Latino dads, they are super passive about that topic as well. Like if they even find out that you had sex, they're shunning you.
You're gonna
They're
get a
not
beating.
talking to you. Yeah, the old school ones will beat you. I mean, luckily, you know, my parents were separated, so you know, my dad didn't really.
Find out.
Yeah, I don't even know if my dad knew.
He
or
thinks
not,
you're
but
a
like,
virgin still.
No, he definitely knows I'm not a virgin. But you know, like it's just that silence, right? Like that unspoken word, as you said earlier. There's no conversation about it. So, I mean, yeah, like my mom knew obviously that I was, I guess, an unvirgin girl.
You were
young.
an open bud.
I was an open bud, exactly. So I mean, from there, then she kind of started opening up more, little by little. Like, are you doing this? Are you taking that? Have you gone to the doctor? So it became more of a norm. So I was definitely more educated, but even still, going back to the value thing, like, had I known at that time where I'd be now and seeing what it really means to, like, you know, have sex and your family not having to know about it, like it's just become such a culture thing, I think. Definitely.
I feel like there's like a middle though. I wouldn't say like me, because I feel like mine was one extreme.
Yeah.
Where it just, like I said, it didn't seem like a natural thing. It felt like I was like, I don't want that. Like it felt gross to me. So I was so blocked off to it. So I don't think that's like, I feel like there has to be like a middle line, right? Where you know it and like, okay, you make that decision. And I think like, I don't know, for me, I have an older sister, but it didn't make a difference for me. So I don't know for you if maybe it was easier for your younger sister.
I think we both had a similar experience because we did and didn't have the same things, you know? Like my mom with her was a bit more open about the topic, but it was sort of the same cycle. And my sister's 22 now, and it's like, you know, she's an adult. So we all like have our experiences, but even the way it was tippy-toed around with my sister was the same, right? But luckily, I think now, especially with social media and so much access to just Google alone, like these younger people are a lot more educated about sex. And I think this generation of Latin parents are also, I guess, like more correct about it with their kids, where they kind of try to come off cool about it, but still,
because they don't want to repeat what happened to them, right? Like
exactly.
So it makes sense. Yeah, like I have like a niece. She's a lot more educated on it. My sister's a lot more open with her about it. To my mom, that's weird. That she's so open about it, right? But it was just, and I think that led to a lot of people just being curious about it. And like you said, being promiscuous and then getting pregnant. And it's funny because they don't want you to have sex. But then when you're a little older, they're like, when are you giving us grandkids? And I was like, you go from one extreme to the other. Like you want me to do it now and give you a kid? So it switches so fast. It's hard to keep up.
Yeah.
So,
and it's definitely back to culture too, right? Like you have to get married and you have to have kids and you gotta do this and you gotta do that. And it's like, we're in such a time where there's no really you have to. Everybody's destiny is different. We're in an age where like women don't have to have kids to add value to themselves or to a man. Yeah. Men don't have to do it either. So like in my stance, I'm a woman that does want like to have a family, have children. So, you know, that's already something that my mom, yes, she does get on my case about, respectfully. Yeah. And I'm just like, you know, I'm like, Mom, when it happens, it happens. But you know how Latina moms are. They'll just continue to ask and ask and ask. So it's crazy perspective too, because again, like my mom was a young mom. Now she would be like a young grandma as well. So to see that generational shift is going to be interesting too, I think. And excuse me, I think people are going to start seeing how different like their generation of parents are when they become grandparents, which we're already kind of seeing, right? Like we're getting older, like our parents and all our family members, everybody's just lifing.
Yeah.
So when you see that, it's just like, damn, I got to keep up.
Well, you're doing it at your own pace.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was always rushed. And, you know, I feel so many parents say like, oh, when I was your age, I was already doing this. I'm like, but your whole life was based on following that, get married, have kids, be a parent. And there's no identity after becoming a mom for so many people, right? So like I've met friends, girls and stuff, and like their whole purpose is being a mom. And I was like, you were someone before becoming a mom. Like you have to keep that, or else like what's going to happen when your kids leave? And I feel like that's also going to push your kids away because you're going to feel so suffocated, right? Like I started to rebel just because I felt suffocated. Like I just like was going out all the time. Like it was like nothing bad, but I was like, I'm going out. But my mom's still very old school, especially now. Like even last night, she's like, you're going out. What time are you going to be home? And I was like, 10 p.m. Mom. But it's that whole mentality. And I think that also pushed me away because I was like, I don't think I ever wanted kids. Like the thought of it even when I was little, I was like, I don't want this. Right. Like, and then I started to change my mind, but I think I changed my mind just more so for my mom in a big way. And I was like, okay, like, yeah, I'm going to have kids. And then I'm so glad I didn't because it's just not for me. And she now understands. She's like, I get it now. She's like, you're having fun. You're traveling. You're doing all this. She's like, I didn't do any of that. So she's like, aren't you going to get bored of it? I'm like, I don't think I'm going to get bored of sitting on a beach and eating ceviche like there. Like, so I think I'm good. I don't need to fill like a void with a child.
Yeah.
And then it's selfish because as shitty as it is to admit, I feel like there's a lot of parents, like Latino parents that had kids because it was what they had to do.
Yeah.
It wasn't a choice back then. Like you had to have kids.
Exactly. Like back to that topic of living the first comes love, then comes marriage, then baby carriage. Like that's literally our culture, and many other cultures, right, that are still old school have that. But we're in a whole different time where there's so much more liberation. There's so much more extra things going on in life. Like we're paying way more than what our parents were for certain things nowadays. Like there's just so much that has been added to the world since it was their turn that now it has to be made clear, like this, no one has to justify why they do or don't want children.
Yeah.
You know, like your lifestyle is as you enjoy it. And the beautiful thing is that your mom has noticed and your mom is now considerate of that. Yeah. And I think that's really important to remind people too, that like you have to own your life. You've got to, people are going to say some shit. People, can I swear on this? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was trying so hard and then that just came out.
You said pussy towing already. So I mean, like, I think you're fine.
Yeah. But just like I was saying, it really all comes down to what's best for us in our situation. No one scenario is the same. You have to be empathetic and happy for yourself and for others. Something else that like we were talking a bit about in the car, you know, it's important to keep people around who are not just there to watch and judge. It's a matter of having people around that are actually going to add value. And whether it is or is not a kid, like that's totally cool. Like I'm going to have like maybe 3 kids and I'll just ask you to babysit sometimes, you know, it's one of those worlds we live in now. Yeah. And it's okay. Like I know other women who also like have made the conscious decision to not have children. Do we need to know why? I don't think so. I think we should just leave it there. Because at the end of the day, you don't know if that woman has consciously made that choice. You don't know if that woman has fertility issues. I think that's definitely an old school thing we gotta break. I'm guilty of it too. Like, stop asking women when they're gonna have kids.
But that's the first thing they ask when you're like, why don't you want to have kids?
Yeah, and it's very intrusive. Like,
I like to make people feel awkward, right? So I'll tell them straight up, and I'm like, I can't have kids. I'm like, and I don't like crotch goblins. And I do like kids, but I just like to make people annoyed. Because if you're going to ask me that question,
you are a troll. Yeah.
You're going to get a shitty answer. Like, I'm very open. So I'm
Yeah.
just like, it's none of your business, but I'll tell you. So, and there's still a lot of people, sadly, it's like what we were saying in the car. Then comes like that envy, right? Because people didn't get to do what they wanted to do with their life. So it's like subconsciously people could get jealous because they're like, well, why didn't I get to do that?
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, well, you still can. Like, I think one of the things I'm learning too is like, I'm having a lot of empathy and understanding for my parents because I would get annoyed with some of the things. Right. And now I'm like, I understand their mindset and they can't help it. Yeah. So I'm trying to help them. And then it's also hard because I feel like they didn't have a lot. So like, I've actually been trying to give like my parents like first experiences of stuff they didn't do. So like, I took my mom to her first concert like 2 years ago. I'm taking my dad and my godfather to their first concert next week. I'm not going because I don't want to go to see like Mana, but like I bought them tickets. Girl, and they're gonna go together.
Why are you missing Mana?
It's not my.
That's not your thing.
No.
Oh my god!
So I bought them tickets, and it's so funny. They're so excited. I'm like, okay, I'll drop you guys off.
That's awesome.
Like, I'm gonna go for dinner, and then I'll pick you guys up. So they've never been, so they're like, oh my god, like this is so cool. Actually really so awesome. You know, I'm just trying to be understanding and still do those things they didn't experience because it's easy to get annoyed, right? But like I said, subconsciously, I think a lot of people, it's like what I was saying in the car, like every time I go on vacation, so this is going to people who unfollow me when I go on vacation, I get people who are just like, oh, must be nice, unfollow. And I was like, why are you mad? Like, I don't get it, right? And they're just like, people are just very intrusive. They're like, don't you get bored of this? Don't you want to be home and like have kids? And I'm like, no, exactly. I do not. Like and
it shouldn't matter to you.
Yeah. Oh, I get so many people like, don't you get bored of doing this? Don't you get bored of doing that? And I was like, if I was bored, I wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah. Respectfully.
And then I'm really nice until now. And then I'm like, aren't you bored of just being home doing nothing? Right. So like, leave me alone. But like I said, it's hard. And then I feel like guys don't get this. For girls, you have to be so good, find one guy to be with. But then if like there's a guy in your family, like a brother, and they're dating a million girls, they're like, oh, you're so cool. Like, good for you. So it's like.
Yeah, I think that's definitely been made a thing in our culture for sure. Now I've sort of noticed it's shifting where like you're seeing more of the, what's the word? I guess the more monogamous route with some of these guys. I mean, I've only dated one Latino guy ever, so I just saw from that experience that the customs and like people really knowing and like wanting to know your business is very different. Which I'm kind of glad I stepped away from, to be honest. My fiance's family's not like that at all. And it's kept it very peaceful. Like there's no chisme going on. There's no scandals where like people are talking about each other. Like it's really not like that. So to go from like my family's dysfunction versus like this is very different and very calming, you know?
Yeah.
Because I normalized that family dynamic my whole life. I thought everybody's family was crazy.
Chaos is
fucking
normal.
Chaotic. Yeah. Like I thought that was normal. And then to meet a whole different family that is on some different energy was refreshing, I would say. And their values are different. So it made me think like, okay, what things did I not have from here? But it also makes me appreciate it because, I mean, like I said, I lived with a single mom, a younger sister, and it was just 3 girls.
Yeah.
You can imagine how the house goes. I mean, you have a sister and mom as well, so I know you probably know the vibes, but
I
guess it got crazy out there.
I know. You're so used to chaos. Like for me, I finally had like a peaceful, somewhat like for the most part, a peaceful year, and it felt good but boring because I was so used to the chaos. And I'm like, is this normal? Right? Because you're used to stuff and like also stepping away from people.
Absolutely. But you have to know where you're meant to be and where you're not. I think a lot of people are like so stuck on old friend groups, old habits, old hate. Like people don't let things go. And this goes back to, the unfollowing and like the pocket watching and all this. It's like, what are you really supporting? Like, are you just supporting this organization that I have and like what it's meant to be? Or are you like just trying to see how my life benefits? And I think on social media that takes away from a lot of influencers and people that are actually making differences in their community or wherever it may be, because people are always trying to look for something to pick, something to fight about, something to talk about. So I feel like you have a good grasp of that. Like you've been running Mujeres in Charge for what, 3 years now?
2. Yeah, it's
yeah, 2-3 years. So you've definitely seen the dynamic of what it is to network with people and connect versus disconnect sometimes. And
when it's necessary,
exactly.
Right? Yeah.
And I think that's totally okay, because you're allowed to like reinvent yourself whenever the fuck you want, respectfully. And, I think that's how I initially met you. Like I used to co-host a podcast a couple years ago.
Okay.
And that was like a humbling experience for me, because I got to see what it's like to work with somebody else, what it takes to, be consistent, be disciplined. And even though things happened in my life where I had to like step back from that, I didn't see it then, but I see it now. Like I needed that reset in my life.
Yeah.
Like that, losing my full-time job after that, starting a body contouring business for a minute.
That's how I met you.
Then working at the bank, so a lot of like shifting in my life to where I am right now. Doing event content creating and things like that, and like lifestyle content. That's just me doing me, I'm sure you get that question too, like, oh, so what are you doing now? I see like you're on social media, and it's kind of like when people ask you like what you do, and do
you feel like a judgment behind it?
Yeah, I totally do. And I've just learned to be comfortable with it, because like I know people are gonna have good and bad things to say about whatever I'm posting anyway, so might as well just do it. Like I don't care. Like even in a video I just posted a reel, I noticed after like my lip liner was a little fucked up. And I was like, who cares? I was like, it's so cute. I was like, this is real. You guys see me eating birria tacos. Like you see why my lip gloss is fucked up. Like that's just the point I'm at in my life. And I know like whoever is gonna fuck with me or with my craft will be aligned with me, and whoever is not is not, right? And I think as women, it's important that we like keep that too, because as much as we want to be girls and we want to be here for each other, we have to like keep it real too.
Yeah.
Like we have to know which women are not serving us at all and are just, as you said, being envious and just watching to watch. And we need to know the women that are uplifting us and supporting us, and that we're doing that back to as well. I think like people don't stress that enough.
I think it all goes back to like our upbringing, right? Like I feel they wanted us, like you said, to be like virgins and stuff. We get so sexualized from like a young age to look a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
You're a Latina, you have to look a certain way. And like I've been hearing that my whole life, and then I've always been like, you look white.
Yeah, like you're too white, you're not Latina.
And I was like, okay, well, what do you want me to do, right? But I didn't have that whole feeling like sexy, like a true Latina, I guess, because of the way I was brought up, where I was like, it feels gross. So I feel like when I started feeling comfortable, I went a little too far, where I was just like, okay, let's calm down. I feel like you've seen my shift in the last 2 years. I was like, I got a little too out there and comfortable.
Oh, she's showing skin.
Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, now I've like chilled it back,
But I mean, if you got it, flaunt it. That's how I feel.
But I feel like it took so long for me to like find my identity, because I was so confused about what I had to be.
Yeah,
and it's so fucked that it came from that.
Why is there a timeline on that?
But it came from that part where like, are you pure enough?
Yeah.
So I was confused of like, okay, I have to be this good, pure person. But I'm like, also sometimes I just want to be a little cunt. And like, you
just
like,
want to be you.
Let me dress like,
Yeah, you're just literally being yourself. Like no one's ever gonna understand your life journey. Like they're not in it. They don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And this is like part of your growth. Like you said, in the span of 3 to 5 years, like you have changed, and there's only things that you would understand. Like you're allowed to reinvent yourself, rebrand yourself at any time you want. Like it's not only other people we gotta shell back from, we have to like shed too, you know? Every year, every couple of months, we have to keep evolving and getting better. And I've been learning that through like trying to be disciplined and making sure I'm asserting my time properly. Like having discipline is like tough, but I mean, we got to do it. Like whether our lifestyle is to travel, work, whatever the fuck you really want to do, just like do it with your heart and be happy. Like fuck what everybody says. And that's why I think like your page even has the traction it does, because you're living your life authentically and truly yourself, you know? And that's probably the most powerful part about you posting and actually living your life. That like people are like looking at you like, I want that. Like I want to be living my life like that.
I think the hardest for me to post is like people that know me from before. I feel like they're like, oh my God, for sure it's cringe, right? So I get like, but I'm like, okay, well, I do it for certain things. For me, it's like the big mental health part of it. But, and it all, like I said, it all really does tie back, because even in therapy, like I was telling her, I'm like, I don't feel comfortable talking about any of that stuff, right? Like, I'm like, I don't even like saying the word, which is so fucked up. I'm in my 30s and I still feel like a child when it comes to that. So I feel like as I'm doing this, I'm like, there's probably other people who feel that way. So I'm like, let me share it with them, right? Like I see my like other family members and they're so comfortable, and I'm like, fuck, must be nice. Like if I had kids, I would raise them that way to know like it's normal. I got like a box to review of special toys once, and my mom saw it and she called like my sister like crying. And she was like, what the hell is this? And I was like,
no.
They're like clothes. I'm like, first of all, I'm gifting some of this for like an event, right?
It's not for me, mommy. Es un regalo.
But she was like, it's that thing. Like that's not normal to them.
Absolutely
Those things are not normal.
And if you're
going to
be extra Latino, like they go religious and they're like, es del demonio. Like it goes down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Oh my God, your poor mother.
Yeah. It can get really religious, and then that gets confusing too, because you're told like God's gonna know, and I'm like, why is he watching if I'm doing this?
Right?
Like why? So that got confusing too. It was it's just,
again, it's a different time. We obviously know and take pleasure more seriously in this generation, and I think that's totally okay. But they're never gonna like condone that. I could definitely see my mom flip into, even though she, she's a little bit more with the time, she would not be thrilled to see that. But even the topic of, I know it's like a big topic, but the topic of sexual abuse awareness, like letting your kids know what to look out for and to come to you with, is really important. I think that's a big one that...
The creepy tios?
Yeah. Creepy tios, creepy cousins, all of it. I think it needs to definitely be instilled in kids, because times have changed, but there's still creeps out there.
Well, there's still a lot of it that's considered like assault, but to them it's only like a certain part. It's only like, I don't even like saying the word, but like the actual big thing that could happen, right? Yeah. But there's so many other little things that they're like, maybe the kids don't know to look out for and they think is normal. Like it's just like,
right. Well, even going as far, to be like, if someone tells you to keep a secret, like come tell mom and dad, like just, I think even communicative cues like that are important to like teach kids and stuff, especially girls. Because we've obviously seen it, like know people either gone through it personally, where you're put in that predicament with somebody you're supposed to trust, somebody that you know. And even the response to that from Latino parents, unfortunately, is usually just turning
a blind eye.
Either fully where like nobody brings it up, nobody addresses it, to the the person either that's being blamed or what the case is, or but it's also a matter of people dealing with it very passively, still having to see these people, maybe your dad like beat the person up, like, and then we still just act like nothing happened, just having those dynamics alone is very traumatic.
I think they
And
don't understand what grooming is either.
Yeah,
because like you could
absolutely
be
not.
young and it's like you have an older boyfriend, that's fine, and like at a certain age, yeah, it's fine, but not when you're like 16, which is again
Yeah.
so weird because they're like accepting if someone's older as a boyfriend a lot of the times, but it's like this isn't right.
Yeah.
But I guess back home it was right. Like it didn't matter, right?
Yeah.
Like it seemed
It was
like they
survival
were
of the
saving you.
fittest. Exactly.
So
I mean, that was kind of my parents' case. My dad was 7 years older than my mom, 6 or 7 years older. And yeah, like looking back, I mean, she was in high school, he was the cool older guy with a car. Like, and then, yeah, you just kind of ask questions like, why was my dad even there?
what did you have in common, right? Like I
No,
think
girl, it was the 90s. Toronto in the 90s, all the Latin clubs let underage girls in. Ask my
But
mom.
I'm saying
Ask my
from
mom.
a
Ask my mom.
mindset, what do you really have? Like if I was talking to someone when I was 20 and I was talking to someone who was like 15, we would not be on the same mindset. Like,
But it's
what
what
we're
you said though. There's a commonality. They want to find somebody.
Yeah.
They want to get married and have kids. Like
Yeah.
my grandma was all for it, and even now my mom looks back and like we've had conversations, and she said like, I don't know how my mom like was really.
Okay.
Well, she knows how she was okay with it. Like she said, like, wow, that generation, they really just wanted their daughters married off and their sons giving them grandchildren. Like that was really what it was. And, yeah, my mom was young and my grandma wasn't like thrilled about it in the beginning. But, I came and like everybody had to like switch up, and my grandma was hardcore. She told my parents, okay, so you're like, she told my mom, you're pregnant now. So like when are you getting married?
Yeah.
And so even that's like a must now. That was their mentality. Okay, well, you did the do already, and now you gotta like seal the deal.
It's like a punishment.
Yeah, yeah, like you got pregnant, that's it. To the church you go. Like that was literally pretty much Mom, Dad, if you guys watch this, like please no disrespect. But like that was pretty much the gunshot wedding. It just had to happen. But my sister and I learned from that. My mom's example alone, I think, made us really realize like, okay, this is what not to do. It wasn't so much her verbally on us, like, make sure you're not getting pregnant, make sure you're like I said earlier, she treated at least my experience a little more modern in the sense where like she just wanted to check in and make sure that I was using protection and like getting checked and doing whatever I had to do to like stay safe. So
Oh my God, at
I'll
least
give her
getting
props
checked.
for that.
I feel like that's not a thing.
It's not, yeah. I have friends who like they hear that and they're like, yeah, my mom's not doing that. My mom's
Like it's fine. And I was like, is it? That's like
no.
Yeah.
like,
but that's again nothing that's brought up. Like I found out on my own. It's like, oh, you take a test? Like I had no idea about any of that stuff, right? But I think it also helps to date outside your culture, which you're doing as well. Like both of us. It's like it's a different dynamic. I don't know if your parents were accepting of it at first.
My mom definitely was.
Okay.
My dad's family, like, definitely now is, but I kind of felt like because there's a lot more tios there, it's just more of a man thing. Like you're dating my niece or you're dating my daughter. It was one of those things, but the culture difference was never really an issue. I'm really grateful for that because I know other women who like it's the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Like their lives were hell just because they were like dating a black guy, and it's a shame because our cultures are also very similar in a lot of ways. So I feel like it's very hypocritical to have all these like stereotypes implemented when your daughter or your son's like dating a black guy or a black girl. And I lucked out. Like my family's very open, very modern, very loving. And they were like cool with it.
Yeah.
So I was like really lucky with that. How about your mom? Like did she like the fact that you were marrying a gringo? Was she happy?
Yeah. I mean, she was fine. It was just kind of like learning the dynamics, right? Like, it was, you know how parents are. If you come in and you don't say hi right away, it's like,
Oh, yeah.
I hate them. They're rude. So I was like, hold on, let the man take off his shoes. Like,
que mal educado.
you know, and it was just learning certain things. But she's great. Like, just in general, like I think for like the most part, a lot of my family, they're dating outside their culture. Some are, but they've gotten pretty good about it. But I think at the beginning, it was just like worried about like, is this going to be the same? Like, are they going to judge us? I think it's more like fear, like we're going to be judged. Because you know how people are. They're like, no one should know. So-and-so is going to find out. And I'm like, no one gives a shit.
Yeah.
Except you guys. Like, no
like,
one.
we're all human right
but
now. We all
about
do
anything. I'm just like, we're not the Kardashians. Like, I always tell my family, I'm like, or friends, they're like, oh, like, I don't want people to know this. I'm like, but no one gives a shit. Like, literally. Even if I find out gossip, I'm like, ooh, juicy. 5 minutes later, I forgot.
Yeah.
Like, it's fun for
like
that
you're not
second.
running to tell somebody.
Right? Like, gonna broadcast it, come here and like share all the tea.
Like put it on your story. I mean, I am guilty. I'll say like I'm like typical chismosa where like if I hear something little, like I'll like call one of my girls, like my other Latina girl actually. Like she's the one I'll call because I'm like, I know you understand what's happening right now. So stuff like that, like but just little stuff. If I ever hear anything through the grapevine that is like big,
yeah,
I
you
mind my
respect
business.
it,
I mind my business because like there's no need for me to get caught up in anything. And I just, girl,
I have
trust
better
me.
things
to
Yesterday I was at dinner and someone told me something and I'm like, oh, hold on. I was like literally paused and I started like texting my best friend. I'm like, guess what? But it was nothing like harmful, right? Nothing that's like hurtful it's just like stupid gossip where you're like, oh my God, I have to share. But when it's big things like so-and-so did this, I'm just like, okay, let's mind our own business. Like let them do their thing. Yeah. And then maybe we talk about it in a year when it's funny, but not right now.
Like let them live through that. Yeah. Me and my girls are the same way. Like we're not really, they're like updating on everybody's lives. We kind of just do our own thing. And I think that is something that people don't really talk about either. Like how dynamics change between friends when like girls have kids versus girls. Like for example, I'm sure you probably like experience that too. Like you have friends that have kids and like you're not seeing them as much. And I'm sure some of these mamas like want to be outside too, but you're just like, sorry, like, our schedules are not aligning. So I know my friends and I are gonna like be in that shift a little soon just because like we're all like getting married and
it'll shift back.
Yeah.
It just takes a few years because like I've shifted back and then I feel like everyone with their first kid is like a lot more and they have the second, they're like, I'm ready to go back. Like, so
I miss it out there.
Yeah, like it gets better, but yeah, you're gonna, because you're younger, so you're a baby. Anyone under 30 is a baby in my eyes.
Thank you. I'll take it.
But I mean, I hope, you teach your kids better about sex.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. They're getting the talks.
Yeah, and I mean, I know you'll be a cool mom, but like you'll teach him and have that fine line, and I'll watch and cheer from the side with my ceviche on the beach.
Yeah, your ceviche. Yeah, you'll be watching from your phone.
Yeah, wherever I am, watching concerts and stuff. But I really appreciate you coming on and talking about all this. And hopefully our parents don't watch it, so it's not awkward.
My mom might, but it's all good. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Cheers.